Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking the zoology part, that is animal science. In the previous lectures, in the previous videos, we have learned the classification of different types of tissues in animals, in which we were discussing the very first tissue, that is the epithelial tissue. We got to know about different types of classifications of epithelial tissue based on their source of origin, mean on the basis of the primordial germinal layers, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Then we came to know the classification based on different arrangements of layers. If single layer, then simple. If multiple layers, then compound epithelium. Okay. So the compound epithelium we are going to discuss today. The compound epithelium basically consists of the transitional epithelium. Transitional epithelium is very stretchable and is also called plastic epithelium. Okay. Cells can glide over one another. That is why they can be stretched, they can change their shape. That is why they are known as what? Transitional epithelium. Okay. So these transitional epithelium, they are stretchable. Compound epithelium, also known as the multi-layered epithelium, they have very limited role in the secretion and absorption, and their main role is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stress. So I'll write it down. The main function of compound epithelium is to provide protection against mechanical, means pressure, and chemical stress. Understood? So compound epithelium, it helps to protect the internal tissues, the underlying connective tissue, from the mechanical and the chemical stress. Transitional epithelium is very stretchable and also known as plastic epithelium. As cells, they can glide one over the other to change their shape. Now, stratified epithelium is also the part of the compound epithelium, which is non-stretchable. Okay, when it is non-stretchable. Now, transitional epithelium we are going to discuss. Transitional epithelium is also known as uroepithelium, as it lines many parts of the urinary system. Okay, it is the only tissue in which basement membrane is absent. Very important. Basement membrane is absent in these tissues. Okay, so transitional epithelium, basement membrane is absent. Basement membrane is the innermost layer, which is non-cellular, on which the different tissues they rest over. So the uroepithelium or the transitional epithelium, it basically rests upon the underlying connective tissue. Okay, so it basically rests upon underlying connective tissue. As you know, basement membrane, it helps to separate. This is the basement membrane. It separates the connective tissue from the epithelial tissue. Understood? But in case of uroepithelium or the transitional epithelium, the basement membrane is absent, and that is why the epithelium directly rests over the underlying connective tissue. In this epithelium, point number third, in this epithelium, 4 to 6 layers of cells are present. Okay, in this epithelium, 4 to 6 layers of epithelium are present. The innermost layer of the cell is composed of cube-like cells. The innermost layer of cells is basically, it is made up of cube-like cells. The cells are cubical. The middle 2 to 4 layer are composed of pear-shaped or umbrella-shaped cells. Okay, these cells are polyhedral. So the innermost layer is composed of cubical shaped cells, and the middle layer, which is having 2 to 4 layers of cells, which are pear shaped and umbrella shaped cells, also they are known as polyhedral cells. The outermost 1 to 2 layers are of oval shape. Outermost 1 to 2 layers are oval shaped. Okay. So the innermost layer, the middle layer, and the outermost layer. The innermost layer is having the cubical cells, tube-like. The middle 2 to 4 layers, they are made up of cells which are pear-shaped or umbrella-shaped cells, also known as polyhedral cells. And the outermost 1 to 2 layers are of oval-shaped cells. Okay. These different shape of cells appear only in resting stage, okay, when it is not stretching, only in resting stage. When this tissue is stretched, all the cells become flattened. So it's very important to know that after stretching, all the cells become flattened. Before stretching, in the resting positions, the different shapes of cells can be seen, okay. So this is the transitional epithelium. At outermost layer, there is a presence of thin cuticle line, okay, which makes this tissue waterproof. The outermost layer is having a thin cuticle covering which is present, which makes the tissue waterproof. So cuticle, it basically is a wax-like layer which basically makes the tissue water impermeable. Okay. So in the transitional epithelium, the outermost layer is having a thin cuticle which makes it water resistant or waterproof. Cells are interconnected by interdigitation. Cells are interconnected by interdigitation, and it is present in renal pelvis, ureter, urinary bladder, proximal part of male urethra. So cells, they are connected by interdigitation, and it is present in renal pelvis, ureter, urinary bladder, and male urethra, proximal part of the male urethra. The compound epithelium, it consists of the transitional epithelium and stratified epithelium. Transitional epithelium, also known as uroepithelium, is stretchable, and the stratified epithelium is non-stretchable. Transitional epithelium is basically it is not having the basement membrane, and it directly rests on the connective tissue. It is a 4 to 6 layer of cells thick, in which the innermost layer is single layer thick, which is having cubical cells. Middle layer is having 2 to 4 layer of cells, which are pear shaped or umbrella shaped cells, which are polyhedral in shape. Okay. And the outermost layer, which is 1 to 2 layer thick, is having oval shaped cells. Before stretching, all the cells, they maintain their shape as it is mentioned, but the moment they get stretched, all the cells become flattened. Okay. These different types of cells, they are present in the compound epithelium. Example, the transitional epithelium. At outermost layer, a thin cuticle is present, which makes the tissue water impermeable. Okay. Cells are interconnected by interdigitation. Examples are renal pelvis, ureter, urinary bladder, proximal part of male urethra. Okay. Now coming to next, this is the transitional epithelium. You can see the arrangement of cells, the underlying connective tissue. There is no basement membrane. You can see no basement membrane. Absent. Okay. The cells, they are the upper layer, middle layer, and the lower layer, innermost layer. Okay. You can see the underlying connective tissue. This is the epithelial cells, which are transitional. Okay. Epithelium. Now, stratified epithelium. Stratified epithelium, on the basis of shape of the cells of outermost layer, it is of three types. Stratified squamous epithelium, okay, then stratified columnar epithelium and stratified cuboidal epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium, stratified epithelium possesses many layer of epithelial cells. The cells, they are multi-layered, and the deepest layer is made up of cuboidal or columnar cells. Means the innermost layer is either made up of the cuboidal or the columnar shaped cells, column like. Okay. So stratified epithelium is basically having multi-layered structure. On the basis of shape of cells, there are four types: stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, stratified columnar, and stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay. So on the basis of shape of cells, it is of four types: stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal, stratified columnar, and stratified ciliated columnar. First is stratified squamous epithelium. The innermost layer of the cells are cuboidal or columnar shaped, as previously mentioned. Okay. These cells have high mitotic index, means they have very high capacity to undergo mitotic division. Understood? They divide to form layer of stratified epithelium. So this layer is called germinativum layer, stratum germinativum. Okay, so they divide to form layers of stratified epithelium. That is why it is known as what? Stratum germinativum or germinativum layer. The middle layers, they are made up of polygonal cells. Okay, these cells are interconnected with desmosomes, which provide rigidity and mechanical support. Okay, so these cells are interconnected by desmosomes, macula adherens, which provide rigidity or mechanical support. Cells of the outermost layer are scale-like or flat cells, as they are the part of the squamous epithelium. The outermost layer cells, they are scale-like or flattened cells. So basically, the stratified squamous epithelium, it is having the innermost layer, which may be cuboidal or columnar. They have high mitotic index, as they can divide to form different layers of stratified epithelium. That is why they are known as what? Stratum germinativum or germinativum layer. The middle layer cells are polygonal in shape, and these are connected by or connected through desmosomes, which provide rigidity and mechanical support. The inner layer, sorry, the outermost layer is scale-like, having scales or scale-like projections, which are having flat cells. On the basis of presence or absence of keratin, they are further modified into two forms: the keratinized stratified squamous epithelium and the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. In case of keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, they make up a hard waterproof keratin layer. Okay, so a hard waterproof keratin protein is present in the scaly cells, and cells become non-nucleated or dead. So in case of keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, the hard waterproof keratin protein is present in the outermost layer, and the cells become non-nucleated dead cells. Epidermis of skin, scales, horn, nails, and feathers. And that's why the exfoliation rate is very high. Exfoliation means they shed off the dead skin and the new skin takes their or substitutes them. Okay. So epidermis of skin, scale, horn, nails, feathers. These are the examples. Now non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium, they they don't have keratin. The cells are nucleated and living. Okay. Keratin protein is absent in them in case of non-keratinized. Cells are nucleated and living. Example, buccal cavity, the inner lining of the mouth, or the oral cavity of mammals, inner lining of cheeks, inner lining of lips, lining of hard palate, lining of tonsils, lower part of soft palate, pharynx, esophagus, anal canal, lining of vagina, cornea of eye. So all these, they don't have the keratin layer, the keratin protein. Okay, cells are nucleated and living. Buccal cavity or oral cavity of mammals, inner lining of cheeks, inner lining of lips, lining of hard palate, lining of tonsils, lower part of the soft palate, pharynx, esophagus, anal canal, lining of vagina, and cornea of eye. These are the different examples of the locations where non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium is present. Stratified cubical epithelium or the cuboidal epithelium. The outermost layer of cells, they are cube-like. Cells are nucleated and living. Okay? Mean they are also non-keratinized. Middle layer, polygonal shaped cells. Cells are polygonal in middle layer. Secretory duct of sweat glands, mammary glands, and sebaceous glands. The secretory duct of exocrine glands like sweat glands, mammary glands, and sebaceous gland, they have the stratified cuboidal epithelium. Secretory unit of salivary glands also, they have stratified cuboidal epithelium, as the secretory duct of salivary glands, they have simple cuboidal epithelium and sebaceous gland as well. Okay. Female urethra, part of anal canal, and conjunctiva of eye. So the stratified cuboidal epithelium, the outermost cells, they are cubical shaped, they are living, they are nucleated. The middle layer, outermost layer, they are cube-like, nucleated and living. Middle layer, polygonal shaped cells, and they are present in secretory duct of sweat glands, mammary glands, and sebaceous glands. Secretory duct of salivary glands and sebaceous gland also are there. Okay. Then female urethra, conjunctiva of eye, and part of anal canal. These are the some common sites where the stratified cuboidal epithelium is present. Then stratified columnar epithelium. Stratified columnar epithelium, it consists of columnar cells. Cells are column-like, pillar-like in both superficial as well as in basal layers. Okay, so they share same types of cells for their whole length, for their whole dimension. Cells are nucleated and cilia is absent on the free end. Example, distal part of the male urethra and the epiglottis. As the proximal part of the male urethra is having the transitional epithelium and the distal part of the male urethra is having stratified columnar epithelium. Okay, so please remember the proximal part transitional epithelium. The proximal part of the male urethra, it is having transitional epithelium, and the distal part of the male urethra is covered with stratified columnar epithelium. Okay. So in stratified columnar epithelium, cells are column-like in both superficial as well as in the basal layers. Cells are nucleated and cilia is absent on the free end. Distal part of the male urethra and epiglottis. Okay. Now coming to next. Stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. The outermost layer is composed of pillar-shaped cells. Okay. Pillar-shaped cells. Understood? Cells are nucleated. Now there are further of two types, ciliated columnar and non-ciliated stratified columnar. So stratified ciliated columnar epithelium, basically stratified columnar epithelium is of two types, stratified ciliated and stratified non-ciliated. They are present in the larynx, upper part of the soft palate, uterus, buccal cavity of frog. Okay, so buccal cavity of mammals, humans, they have the previous epithelium we discussed, that is the stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, and the stratified ciliated columnar epithelium, it is present in the buccal cavity of frog, uterus, upper part of the soft palate, and larynx. Functional classification of the epithelial tissue. Further, this epithelial tissue is further classified into functionally epithelial tissues can be classified as follows: germinal epithelium, pigmented epithelium, and the sensory epithelium. Germinal epithelium, it is present in the testis and ovary. Its cells produce sperms and ova. Germinal epithelium. Pigmented epithelium, it is present in the retina of eye. It possesses pigment, iodopsin and rhodopsin, which give color to the retina. Okay. Sensory epithelium, it is found in the retina of eye in the form of, neurosensory cells, internal ear, nasal chambers, and tongue. Okay, for gustation, for olfaction, for auditory, statocaustic auditory, and for vision. It perceives stimuli and conduct impulses. Glandular epithelium, when it gets modified in the form of glands, it present in the glands and secrete fluid, secretion. Absorptive epithelium, it is found in nephron of kidneys, stomach, intestine. It helps in the absorption of food in the stomach and intestine and liquid materials in nephron. So the stratified ciliated columnar epithelium, it is basically found in the larynx and the buccal cavity of frog along with uterus. Functional classification of the epithelial tissue, functionally they can be classified as germinal epithelium, which will form the sperm and ova. Pigmented epithelium, it is present in the retina of eye. It possesses pigment which give color to the retina. Sensory epithelium, it is found in the retina of eye, internal ear, nasal chamber, and the tongue. It also helps to perceive the stimuli and conducts impulses. Then comes glandular epithelium. It is present in glands and secrete fluid. It is present in glands and secrete fluid, means the function is secretion. Absorptive epithelium, it is found in nephrons of kidney, stomach, and intestine. It helps in the absorption of food in the stomach and intestine and liquid materials in nephron. So stratified ciliated columnar epithelium, it helps to secrete as well as it helps to absorb. Secretion is done in case of glandular epithelium, and absorptive epithelium is present in the nephrons of kidney, stomach, and intestine. Helps in the absorption of food in stomach and intestine and liquid materials in case of nephrons. So this is the stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Now, there is one more example before coming to the glands of epithelium, the stratified non-ciliated columnar epithelium. Stratified non-ciliated. Example, epididymis. So epididymis of the male reproductive tract is sorry. It is epiglottis, not epididymis. Epiglottis. So the stratified non-ciliated columnar epithelium, it can be seen in epiglottis as cilia are absent on the free end. Okay, so it is present in the epiglottic part. Okay, epiglottis is the flap-like cover which covers the glottis, means the airway tract, so that food could not enter it. Okay, now coming to next is glands of epithelium. What are glands? Group of cells which secrete chemical substances, they are called glands. So a cell or a group of cells, they can be unicellular and they can be multicellular as well. So these glands, which can be unicellular as well as multicellular, their main function is to secrete chemical substances. All glands are composed of epithelium tissue. Glands originate from three germinal layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. These cells are generally columnar or cuboidal in shape. These cells are generally columnar or cuboidal in shape. The glands of the epithelium, epithelial glands, they can be of all the three germinal layers. They can be made up of all the three germinal layers. Okay, they are covered with or composed of epithelial tissue. They mainly secrete secretions, and the cells, they are generally columnar and cuboidal. Now, on the basis of number of cells, they are further classified as unicellular glands and multicellular glands. Unicellular gland consists of isolated glandular cells. Okay, these are the isolated glandular cells. Lifespan is 2 to 3 days. Example, mucosa of stomach, intestine, trachea, nasal chamber, that is goblet cells, and Paneth cells. Paneth cells are present in intestine. So unicellular glandular epithelium, which is a modification of cuboidal or columnar epithelium, it is present in the isolated glands. Lifespan is of 2 to 3 days. Mucosa of stomach, intestine, trachea, nasal chambers having goblet cells and the painal cells in the intestine. Okay, you can see the unicellular glands. Okay, and these are the goblet cells. Multicellular glands consist of cluster of cells formed by the invagination of epithelial cells. The cells, they get invaginated. They get invaginated. Okay. Example, rest of the glands, they come under the category of multicellular glands. So on the basis of number of cells, it is further classified into two categories, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular glands, they consist of isolated glandular cells. Lifespan is of 2 to 3 days. Example, mucosa of stomach, intestine, trachea, nasal chambers, painal cells. And multicellular glands, they consist of cluster of cells which are formed due to invagination of epithelial cells. Example, rest of the glands. Okay. Now, when we learn about the classification of glands, so it's like the glands, they are classified on the method of the secretion. Endocrine glands and exocrine glands. And the third category is mixed gland or the heterocrine glands. On the basis of method of secretion, they are further classified into endocrine, exocrine and heterocrine or mixed glands. Okay, we'll come further. Here now we have covered the unicellular and the multicellular glands which are having the unicellular and the multicellular formation. Okay. On the basis of shape of secretory units, they are further classified into tubular glands, saccular glands or the alveolar glands or the compound tubulo-alveolar glands. The first category is tubular glands. Second is the saccular or alveolar glands, and the third category is tubulo-alveolar glands. In tubular glands, we can see the simple glands like simple tubular glands, like intestinal glands, crypts of Lieberkühn. Simple coiled tubular glands in case of sweat glands. So simple coiled tubular glands in case of sweat glands. Simple branched tubular glands like sweat glands or armpit. Simple branched tubular sweat glands like sweat glands of armpit and gastric glands. So simple glands, they are of three types. Simple tubular, which are present in intestinal glands, crypts of Lieberkühn. Simple coiled tubular, which are present in the sweat glands, and simple branched tubular sweat glands of armpit and gastric glands. Sweat glands of armpit and gastric glands. Understood? So this is the first category, that is the simple glands, means the basically division is having three categories: tubular, saccular or the alveolar, and tubulo-alveolar. The tubular glands, it is further classified into simple and compound. Simple tubular glands, they can be found in intestinal glands like the crypts of Lieberkühn. Then simple coiled tubular, they are present in the sweat glands, and simple branched tubular, they are present in the sweat glands of armpit and gastric glands. Saccular or the alveolar glands, they are further of two types, simple and compound. Simple glands, simple alveolar, present in the cutaneous glands of frog, poison glands and mucus glands. The poison glands, mucus glands and the cutaneous glands of frog, they are having simple alveolar type, which belong to simple glands of the saccular or alveolar glands. Then simple branch alveolar, which is present in the most of the sebaceous gland. So simple branch alveolar, it is basically present in the most of the sebaceous glands. Okay. Then the compound tubulo-alveolar, which shows the active mammary glands, compound tubulo-alveolar, parotid glands, Cowper's gland, and pancreas. Okay. So the compound tubulo-alveolar, it is present in the active mammary glands, parotid glands, Cowper's gland, and pancreas. So these are the examples or the classification based on the shape of secretory units: tubular, saccular or alveolar, and tubulo-alveolar. Tubular, further of two types, simple and compound. Examples of simple are simple tubular glands in case of intestines, crypts of Lieberkühn, simple coiled tubular sweat glands, and simple branch tubular in case of gastric glands and the sweat glands of armpit. Saccular or alveolar glands, they are of further of two types, simple and then compound. Simple glands, simple alveolar, Okay, and simple branch alveolar. Simple alveolar, cutaneous glands of frog and poison glands or mucus glands, and simple branch alveolar, most of the sebaceous glands. In case of tubular glands, there is one more example: compound tubular alveolar glands, tubular glands, sorry, not alveolar. Tubular glands like Brunner's gland, mammary glands of Protherians, and inactive mammary glands of Eutherians. Okay, so compound tubular glands, they are also present in, the inactive mammary glands in case of Eutherians, and mammary glands of Protherians, and the Brunner's gland. Okay, so this is the classification: tubular, saccular or alveolar, and tubulo-alveolar. Tubular, simple, compound. The compound tubular glands, they are having example or location: Brunner's gland, then mammary glands, and the inactive mammary glands in case of Eutherians, and mammary glands of Protherians. Okay. Compound tubular alveolar glands, it is present in the active mammary glands, parotid gland, Cowper's gland, and pancreas. So these are some common examples. Coming to next, classification of glandular epithelium. Endocrine glands, the secretory duct is absent. That is why they are known as what? Ductless. Exocrine glands, where the secretory duct is present. And heterocrine or mixed glands, both endocrine as well as exocrine parts. On the basis of nature of secretion, three types of glands. The first classification was on the basis of presence of secretory duct. If they are having secretory duct, then exocrine. If they are not having, then endocrine. And mixed or heterocrine means they both have endocrine and exocrine parts. Ecrine or acrine or merocrine glands. In these glands, the secretory cells secrete substances by simple diffusion, exocytosis. No part of the cytoplasm is destroyed in secretion. Maximum sweat glands of humans, paws of rabbit, goblet cells, salivary gland, tear gland means the lacrimal gland. Lacrimal. Right here. Lacrimal. Okay. Okay. Then the intestinal glands and the mucous glands. So the ecrine or merocrine glands or the acrine glands, in these glands, secretory cells, they secrete substances by simple diffusion, exocytosis. No part of the cytoplasm destroyed in the secretion. Maximum sweat glands of humans, paws of rabbit, goblet cells, salivary glands, tear glands or the lacrimal glands, and the intestinal glands and mucous glands. Apocrine. The first one was merocrine or acrine or ecrine. Then the apocrine. In this type of glands, secretory products are collected in the apical part of the secretory cell. There is a secretory cell, and the secretions which are to be given out, they are basically produced in the apical part of the secretory cell. Apical portion is also shed along with secretory matter. So along with secretory matter, the part of the apical portion is also get shedding out. Secretory cells gain their lost part of the cytoplasm by the process of regeneration. Mammary glands, sweat glands of armpit, pubic region, skin around anus, nipples and lips. Largest sweat gland of the body are found around nipples, areola mammae. So the largest sweat glands of body are found around nipples, areola mammae. So apocrine glands, in these types of glands, the secretory products are called or collected. They are in the apical part of the secretory cell. Apical portion is also shed along with the secretory matter. The secretory cells gain their lost part of the cytoplasm process by regeneration. Mammary gland, sweat gland of armpit, pubic regions, skin around anus. Okay, largest sweat glands of body are found around nipples, areola mammae. This is the example: simple tubular. You can see simple tubular cells. Okay, examples: intestinal glands, crypts of Liverpool. Simple coiled tubular. Examples: merocrine sweat glands. Then simple branch tubular, mucous glands of esophagus, stomach, sorry, esophagus, tongue, and duodenum. Mucous glands of esophagus, tongue, and duodenum. They have simple branch tubular. Simple alveolar or acinar glands not found in adults, a stage in the development of simple branch glands. Okay. The simple alveolar or the acinar glands, they actually don't, they are not found in the adults, a stage of development of simple branch glands. Okay. Now, the simple branch alveolar, which is the example is sebaceous gland or the oil gland. Compound tubular, examples mucous glands in the mouth, gastric glands, bulbourethral glands in case of male reproductive system, and testes. So, in case of compound tubular, it is present in mucous glands, then the gastric gland, the bulbourethral glands in case of male reproductive system, and the testes. Compound alveolar or the acinar type, mammary glands. Compound tubulo-alveolar tubulo-acinar type, salivary glands, glands of respiratory passage, pancreas, excretory portion. So these are the different types of glands, multicellular glands. Okay, multicellular glands, simple tubular, simple coil tubular, then simple branch, simple alveolar, and simple branch alveolar. In simple tubular, the examples are crypts of Leverkun, intestines, simple coil tubular, examples are merocrine glands. Then simple branch tubular, the example is mucous gland of stomach, esophagus, tongue, and duodenum. Then simple alveolar, acinar glands not found in adults, a stage in the development of simple branched glands. Simple branch alveolar glands, sebaceous glands. Okay, these are different types of glands. Okay, on the basis of invagination of the epithelium. Okay, so these are the types of glands which are shown here. First is the merocrine secretion, in which the secretion it gets diffused out from the membrane. Then, in case of apocrine gland, the part which is having the secretion in it, it gets detaches automatically. Pinches of the portion of the cell to secrete. Then, the third is the holocrine secretion, in which the whole of the system or whole of the this cells they dies, mature cell they dies and become secretory product. Okay, so merocrine, apocrine, and holocrine. Merocrine means some of the part is getting diffused. Apocrine means the pinched off portion of the cell is the secretion, and holocrine means mature cell dies and becomes secretory product. So these are different types of epithelium. In case of the merocrine, vesicles fuse with the cell membrane to secrete the product of the gland. Then comes apocrine, the part of the cell with the vesicles is pinched off and release the product. And third is the holocrine gland, a mature cell dies completely to secrete the product. Now coming to next, classification based on secretory matter. In rabbits, sweat glands of this type are found in lips and skin around lips. These are holocrine glands, already told. The production or secretion is shed with the whole cell, leading to its destruction. In case of the last part of the gland, the holocrine gland, the production of the secretion is shedded with the whole cell, okay, leading to its destruction. Example: sebaceous gland, Zeiss gland, and Meibomian gland. Okay, so these are the classifications based on the secretory matter. Now we are going to talk about this on the basis of secretory matter: serous glands, mucous glands, and mixed glands. Serous glands which secrete watery fluid like sweat glands. Mucous glands secrete mucus, which is gelatinous goblet cells, and mixed glands secrete water plus mucus. Means in the case of pancreas and gastric glands, it's better to have water along with the secretion. If a gland secrete, better to secrete water along with mucus, as mucus provides lubrication. Okay. So we are having serous glands, mucous glands, and the mixed glands. Understood? So this was the classification of different types of glandular epitheliums. Okay, like apocrine, merocrine, holocrine, then serous glands, mucous glands, and the mixed glands. So serous glands secretion watery fluid. Example: sweat glands. Mucous glands secrete mucus or gelatinous secretions like goblet cells, and the mixed glands secrete watery fluid plus mucosa. Examples: pancreas and gastric glands. Okay, so this is all about the classification of different types of epithelium. Now we will be doing a neat time, which is not a tea time, you know very well. Pseudo stratified epithelium. The first question comes: the pseudo stratified epithelium is present in nephrons and neurons, neuron, so is something very different. Okay. Then larynx and pharynx, trachea and bronchi, urinary bladder, intestine. So pseudostratified epithelium means the cells, these are arranged in a form of small cells and the large cells. The small cells, they don't touches the outermost part, but the large cells, they touches the outermost part, and that is why they are known as what? The cells having, different length, and because of this, the long cells, they rest on the basement membrane, but the short cells, they don't rest on the basement membrane. Understood? That is why it is mentioned that the pseudostratified epithelium should present in the respiratory tract, especially the trachea and bronchi. Okay, so trachea and bronchi, they have the stratified epithelium. Transitional epithelium is found in whole of the urinary system, means renal pelvis and ureter, urinary bladder, upper part of the male urethra, so, and the fourth option is all above. So answer will be all of the above, transitional epithelium. Okay. Columnar epithelium with microvilli or the brush border is present in gallbladder, stomach, appendix, and pharynx. So among these four options, the columnar epithelium with the microvilli or brush border. I have before coming to this topic in the previous lecture, I made you understand differences between the brush border epithelium, means brush border epithelium also known as microvilli, then the presence of ciliated epithelium in which the basal granule give rise to cilia. So these epitheliums, they actually help to move the mucus in one direction. So the columnar epithelium having the microvilli, which is the modification, is basically present in which part? Gallbladder, stomach, appendix, and pharynx. The answer is the gallbladder. Okay, understood? In the gallbladder part, basically the columnar epithelium is present with the microvilli or the brush border. Understood? Now, sweat glands. Okay, the sweat glands, they originates from ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. You know, sweat glands, they are the modification of skin. Okay, and the skin or the glands, today only you got to know that glands, they originated from different primordial germ layers. Okay, so these are different glands which are basically originating from the three primordial germ layers, which is the ectoderm, mesoderm, and the endoderm. Okay. So when we talk about the sweat glands, which are basically the modification of the skin. So sweat glands, they originates from the ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. All of these. The answer will be the all of these. Okay. So inner lining of blood vessel is known as what? Endothelium. Inner lining of blood vessel is known as what? Endothelium. Non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium is found in non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. It is found in skin, stomach, intestine, and esophagus. So which part of the epithelium is having? I mean, you got to know that stratified squamous epithelium, it is having, in the previous slides only I have shown you. Okay. So, I mean, the fact is, if you do all these, slides, you will got to know about different, you can easily do different types of questions, right? So, where is that slide? Stratified epithelium. Yeah, this is the stratified non-keratinized. Non-keratinized. Pharynx, esophagus. There is the esophagus. Pharynx, esophagus. Okay. So the esophagus will be the answer for the last question, in which the non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium is present. Understood? So these were the NEET questions. We have done the previous year questions. So with coming other mesmerizing videos, I will be coming in the next lectures. Till then, please take care of yourself. Stay safe. Stay at home, everyone. Bye-bye. Take care.